there are these particular people, not just one, that I really look up to, and I look up to their lives, right? And gosh, I'm not gonna mention names, but one is a South African like singer. Um, yeah, he's young, he's a guy, he's a South African singer, and then some are like all very prominent all over the world, like, so, like I've just been, when you, okay, I'm sorry, God help me. So, like when you scroll on like social media, right, and you see people, they're doing all these great things, you guys. They're flying, they're going abroad, they're always booked and busy, and you watch their vlogs or their little TikTok shorts, and, I'm sorry on the live. Okay. And they're just this week we're here, this week we're there. And so I happened to watch someone, right? And this particular someone was talking about the fact that their schedule is already like booked for the following 2026. I mean, that was good because that encouraged me to say that I should stop being random and actually ask God, get a plan from God about the upcoming year. That's part of the problem with many people. We want things to change in our lives, but we kind of random it out. You don't have a plan, you don't have a desire, you don't really have a goal. And most of what happens, especially for Christians, you find that they get discouraged. Maybe you had a goal, maybe you trusted God for something, maybe you had your life very much planned, and you feel that God scattered all your plans. So you told yourself, I'm not going to plan again. I'm going to leave things completely to God, which I'll tell you another tea in a second. So, I was like, well, like guys, people are really living. They're living. And then so I just watch and I admire and I like and I comment. And then the next thing I'm comparing myself and I find myself in a rut, basically. And like it becomes, I don't know whether it becomes like disparaging or discouraging as the year is ending, because you become weary. Let me tell you, comparison is a weight. It is a weight. The Bible says, let us lay aside every weight that so easily ensnares us, right? And comparison is a weight. I don't know that it is a sin, but it's a weight. I don't think it is a sin to compare, but it is a weight. And why it is a weight is because the things that result from it then become sins, like envy, jealousy, all of the things. They then become the sins that can come from comparing yourself. What you do, if your heart is not guarded, if you're not surrendering that comparison to God. So, I don't know. I've just been battling this dichotomy of, well, I'm tired on the one hand, the weariness of the year, and then as well, this dichotomy of, well, people are out here flying. People are out here, doing the most. And, this is the part then. This is the part that God then told me about. Okay, so while I was meditating on that, and while I was praying, because I said, well, God, you have to help me to be delivered from this comparison thing. This thing cannot be good, And this is what God told me. Okay, because when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about my life. You see, the way my life is, I've never really been the type of person who says, well, I want to fly from city to city, place to place. I've always wanted a more grounded life. I've always desired that when I have a family, I want a more grounded life and all of that. That's always just been purposeful in my heart, right? And then this is what God reminded me of. He reminded me of this particular thing about myself. And he said that it's not about being busy. Okay, if you're the type of person you're comparing yourself to